a new hat, everybody. It's cute, right?
This is what a weird looking group today.
Unreal.
Emma dared me to leave the hat like this. She said she would give me $2. So
It's giving
I
Madeline
made
vibes.
$2.
You remember that?
It's actually not the worst looking thing in the world.
It's like a seafaring Madeline. Remember her, the French girl from the cartoon?
Yeah. Okay, I'm mad at it. But the only thing is it's flipped inside out, you guys. So it's not like really supposed to be like this. You can see the tag.
So we're just being extra.
Yeah,
on this
totally.
Friday. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I'm on board.
I don't even know.
It does
where to
look
go
like
with
I
this.
belong on a boat, though.
That's why I said I'm on board.
Gerald,
You look like a pencil.
we literally just started. Like literally just started.
We're killing it. But I love that you're embracing the Barbie of this day. You got the real Barbenheimer vibes going with the pink hat.
Happy
black
Barbenheimer
shirt.
Day to all those
You
who
got
celebrate.
the Barbie vibes.
This was my Barbenheimer
Mhm.
look. Had to go with the old school hat, and then like if Ken lost all his money and had to buy a cheap shirt,
Damn.
like, you know,
It's rough that Barbie took a turn.
I'm gonna leave this hat on
Mhm.
for the whole show, just because why not? It's Friday. We'll have a little bit of fun here. I'm Lindsay Smith. That's Gerald Bourget. That's Espo. And today we're going to continue our dive into all the newcomers and re-signees of the Phoenix Suns. And today we'll be discussing Eric Gordon. So, of course, Eric Gordon is 34 years old. He is 6'4". His wingspan is 6'9". He's got some strengths and he's got some weaknesses. Gentlemen, what stands out to you as far as what you're most looking forward to from Eric Gordon and one of the things you have some hesitations about?
well, Lindsay, I'm really looking forward to the strengths and not so much the weaknesses.
Same, honestly.
So on to the next. No, for me, Eric Gordon's ability to pull up from anywhere on the court is something I am looking forward to. Gerald, you did a fantastic job writing about it and pulling clips. And
Thanks.
I was watching that and then looking at the stats. I was like, yeah, I can enjoy this. I can get behind this. And then the weakness, he's 34.
Mhm.
You know, if we had gotten him, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it's even more exciting. Hopefully the 34-year-old version of Eric Gordon can hold up and can be that extra shooter that you really needed last year that you didn't have.
Yeah, and for those who are interested in diving a little bit deeper, I wrote about it for diehards only on gophnx.com today. But for me, it's the floor spacing and the fact that when he does attack, he can be very efficient. He's really strong and he does not mind contact, which is something that, the Suns could have used more of last year, guys that can get to the rim and get to the free throw line as well. The problem is, and I found this in a lot of areas in his game, he doesn't move a ton. Like he's not a guy that's going to be running around screens as a movement shooter. What he does at this point in his career, because he's a little bit older now, is he'll just spot up. And that's why he shoots so many threes from way out there, because he's just going to camp out. And if he gets the look, he's going to let it fly, which is good because he's an efficient shooter. But defensively, offensively, he's not a guy that's going to be running all over the court very often, which could be a bad thing in some situations, but it could be good for his durability. And you just need him healthy for the playoffs.
Mhm.
So maybe it's better that he's not out there, running around a bunch of screens or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Espo, you kind of hit the nail on the head. Obviously, the most exciting thing is the shooting, especially like Gerald, you mentioned, 5 feet past the 3-point line. We love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
But just the age, the fact that as obviously 34 is not old by normal people standards, but by athlete standards, it's getting up there a little bit. And so, Gerald, to your point again, you just kind of slow down a little bit. Then you're not moving as much. You're not as quick anymore with those type of things. You talked about, getting to the rim and how he's good at that, but he just doesn't do it as often anymore as he used to. So those are some of the hiccups that may come with Eric Gordon. But I don't know that we got to put that much load on him. I don't know that you need all of that, what he could have brought however many years ago when he wanted to be a Sun, if you need that in this situation.
Yeah, but what I like, and you showcase this in the piece, is how he doesn't need to move that much to get enough separation.
Mhm.
You know, it's one step off of him and he can pull, and that either comes in a screen or a little hesitation that he can do. It's enough distance for him to just get that shot off, and that's important. But granted, I don't know how many times guys are going to be all that close to him if he's out there at any point with the big three, because their gravity is going to pull a lot of guys off of people, you know, the other two guys on the court. And if Eric Gordon's one of them, he's going to make them pay.
Yeah, he's a guy that got a decent amount of open looks, but not as many as he probably could have, especially once we got to the playoffs and Paul George was out and then Kawhi goes out after the first game. Like, they didn't have a lot of offensive hubs like the Suns, who have 3 of them. So he was asked to do a little bit more with the Clippers than I think they were expecting. And I think that's why maybe there were a little bit mixed results, especially in the playoffs when his efficiency kind of tanked a little bit. He was being asked to do more than he will need to do here. So I think the shooting will hold, especially if he's sharing the court with KD or Book or Bradley Beal. And I think, like you said, because he's willing to launch from 27, 28, 29 feet, you have to be up on him. And when you're that far up, you open yourself up to driving lanes a little bit more. And he is pretty crafty with giving a pump fake that draws them off their feet and using that to make up for the lack of kind of an explosive first step at this point in his career.
And sharing the floor with the big 3, I would like to think that it's a pretty no-brainer that one of those big 3 would likely be on the court at all times. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't see this being like a hockey kind of substitution here. I think it's going to be a mix of those ones, kind of like we saw in the playoffs, but maybe more regularly throughout the season. Before we go and continue more on our Eric Gordon conversation, we got a special guest joining us here in just a little bit. I do want to ask you guys, do you cook during the summer inside? Like, are you still cooking? Well, that's fair. I don't, but specifically in the summer, it's a hard no. Like, sometimes I might during the non-peak heat days, but in the summer, it's definitely a no.
Okay.
You feel that way? Yeah. If it requires turning on an oven, it's not happening.
Oh, okay.
It's just
How do
too
you
hot.
turn on an oven? I didn't even know that.
Well, Espo, for people like you and me who don't want to cook, and especially in the summer, or don't know how to cook, we've got you guys covered. Factor meal kits have officially joined the PHNX family. Factor is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. They can help you fuel up fast with flavorful and nutritious ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. Also love the delivery factor.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not trying to go to the grocery store ever.
I'm not trying to leave the house right now.
Exactly. Especially in the summertime. Like, no, it's absolutely no. So if you don't want to leave the house and you don't want to cook, make sure you check out Factor. They are fresh, never frozen meals that are ready in just 2 minutes. So all you have to do is heat and enjoy. I also love that because I don't like to think ahead and like take chicken out of the freezer and thaw it out and plan all the things. I just want to know I'm hungry and this is what I want and I want to eat it now.
Lindsay hopes that Factor will send somebody with it to feed her as
I
well.
mean, listen.
At this point.
Will you put it in the microwave for me and then plate it and then cut up the chicken pieces for me like I'm 2?
Can you just serve it straight to my mouth, please?
Oh, man.
They've got amazing options, right, to fit any sort of dietary restrictions or allergies or lifestyles, things like that, like from keto to calorie smart, vegan, veggie, protein plus type stuff if you're looking for the gains. Gerald, I know you are right now. You tweeted about being back in the gym. Head to factormeals.com/PHNX Suns 50 and use code PHNX Suns 50 to get 50% off. Again, that is code PHNX Suns 50 at factormeals.com/PHNX Suns 50 to get 50% off. The only thing that would make my hat look better today is if I brought my Shady Rays in to wear with it.
An OG's ad.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
No, if I had on some dope Shady Rays with this hat, the look would be perfection. Make sure you guys get your hands on some Shady Rays. They are premium polarized shades, and the gear is built to last. They also have the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by the lost and broken replacement, so if you lose or break your pair, even on day 1, Shady Rays told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Exclusively for everyone listening, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. All right, it's time to welcome in our special guest on this Friday afternoon, Tomer Azarly, my bad, Clippers and NBA writer, plus content and social for Clutch Points. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
I'm doing well, trying to stay cool over here in LA. I hear it's not as bad over there, though. It's much worse over there. So I think I'm a little better off, but doing well.
We are
How
all
about you guys?
struggling as far as the heat. We would gladly trade places with you in a heartbeat, that's for sure. Thank goodness for air conditioning, though, right?
Yeah.
So
Especially
we're
after
talking
Vegas and here.
Yeah, exactly. So we're talking all things Eric Gordon today. Obviously, you had a close-up look at him last season. What stands out to you about Eric Gordon at this point in his career still?
Well, for one, I'm happy that he has a chance to play for a contending team. After a couple years in Houston with a much younger team that didn't really have a chance to compete, I think he was happy just to be in a situation where he has to play for something more than just an April 14th, end of season kind of thing. So that's one thing. Another thing for me is really just I know it's talked about a lot, but that floor spacing that he provides, that extra 3 to 4 feet that he can give you on the perimeter is really game changing. We saw that in the playoffs, and we saw that at times during the regular season, especially with a guy like Russell Westbrook able to push downhill, Terrence Mann able to push downhill. That floor spacing, that extra 3 to 4 feet that he can give you, just opens up so much more. So he's still a really good shooter. Still can put the ball off the dribble, attack closeouts. So I mean, he's just a great fit, really, for the Suns. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he fits because, as someone who covered the Clippers, I kind of hated to lose him because I thought he was a really good piece around a Kawhi and a PG. But tax implications and all that be what they are. So, but happy that he has a chance to contend, really, because he's a good guy. I remember he was with the Clippers back in 2009 or whatever it was. So just happy he has a chance to contend for a championship again.
Tomer, you kind of mentioned it there. I know that they saved, what was it, like $110 million in luxury tax payments, but were you kind of surprised that the Clippers let him go the way that they did?
I mean, given the fact that they traded Luke Kennard, who was, a top 3 shooter in the NBA by percentage, and the pick swap that ended up being Cam Whitmore, who is on a revenge tour for being disrespected and being picked number 20. And he looked really good, Summer League MVP. It was a bit surprising, yeah, because I think on one hand, you have Steve Ballmer, who has openly just said, we'll spend whatever it takes to contend and build a contender. But if it's strictly a luxury tax thing, then I'm a little confused by it because then you're saving 110 million, and if that's what you're really touting, then I'm a bit confused. I know that the new CBA has some language there where it affects the Clippers from being able to use either some money or something by draft night next season. So I think there was something that they're still trying to figure out and get under the second apron. They're not there yet, but I think they're going to try to be entering the season. So I think there were a lot of things that went into it. I mean, obviously, I don't think they traded for Eric with the intention of just letting him go. But I think once the new CBA came out and the language became more available in those 600 whatever pages that was, I think it just became obvious that someone had to go. They had a roster crunch, especially with Russell Westbrook re-signed. But it looks like they intend to keep Terrence Mann and Bones Highland, Norman Powell. So there's really just a roster crunch there, and minutes are really hard to come by. So I am surprised they let him go. I thought at the very minimum he could be used as some kind of a trade piece you could send to a contender as an expiring contract. I thought maybe in a Philly deal it might work if you want to trade for James Harden or another team that might want him. But I mean, it is what it is, I guess. It's just I'm surprised. I think a lot of people are still kind of shocked that they just let him go after trading Luke Kennard, who was a favorite here, and the pick swap that turned into Cam Whitmore.
What is the biggest concern when it comes to Eric Gordon? I know he's 34, but what should Suns fans potentially be concerned about with Eric Gordon's game at this point?
I think he's at this point. I think he actually has been like this for a while, but he's kind of streaky for one. Um, just because he does offer that floor spacing doesn't mean it's always going to go down. So I think you do have to respect him as a shooter. I think defensively he's definitely lost a step from where he was a couple of years ago. He's got a bigger frame for what is he, a 6'4", 6'5", a 6'3" type of guy, 6'3", 215. So I think he's definitely got a better frame, but he's lost a step defensively, so it's probably easier to beat defensively. I think during the playoffs you saw some, granted he was defending guys like Devin Booker, but um, there was some miscommunications there, and he kind of either got backdoored or guys were able to cut off him and stuff like that. So I think defensively is probably where you'll see the biggest concerns if I had to pick some, but I think you're also looking at a lineup that'll feature a Kevin Durant, who's great as a small ball five, great defensively. We saw that with the Warriors. We saw that last year with the Suns. So like, I'm not really too concerned about it. I am interested to see how they kind of work with. I think Beal is going to be like the de facto kind of point guard, if I'm not mistaken, from what I saw. So I'm curious to see how they kind of mesh with that. But I think the biggest concerns are probably defensively. Offensively, you're not going to need too much out of him, given the other big names you have there. So yeah, I think just defense might be a bit of an issue.
Yes. That was kind of one of my questions was with the Clippers. It felt like because Paul George went down before the playoffs, because Kawhi goes down after game one, basically, it felt like they needed him to do more than maybe he was originally going to have to do for that team. Do you like the fit with Phoenix, maybe in a role where, as long as everybody stays healthy, obviously he's able to be kind of that support bench guy that the Clippers envisioned when they first got him?
Yeah, I mean, when they first got Eric Gordon, I mean, they had those 2 games where I believe they started Terrence Mann alongside him before the All-Star break. And I think that the final game before the break was against the Suns, where Terrence Mann had about 26. I think Eric Gordon started and gave him like 13, 14 as well. So it looked good, and that was with Kawhi and PG available. They were also available for a couple games out of the All-Star break. That was with Russell Westbrook. And I think that, again, it really looked like he struggled with his shot, but they were getting the shots that they wanted out of the driving kicks that Russ and PG and Kawhi were able to create. So I think he's a perfect fit. I may There may not be a better fit for Eric Gordon than this team because of the amount of attention that a Devin Booker can draw, a Kevin Durant, and not only that, their efficiency is also going to be so high that you have to give them that attention. Health is a big thing for this team, but I mean, there really may not be a better fit for this for Eric Gordon than this Suns team because of the size that they already have. I mean, Devin Booker is what, about 6'3", 6'4", something like that. But I think he's got like a bigger frame than most guys at that position. So he gives you a lot. I really like that fit. It's going to be so good for them. I think if there's one team that Clipper fans didn't want to see him go to, it's the Lakers. The second team was probably the Suns, I would say.
Well, we're happy to have your support if you'd like to come hang out with us for a few games. You are always welcome over here. Listen, we've got a lot of new faces on the Sun Squad, so we're trying to really get to know them. Obviously, we will learn more about them as the season tips off and progressive. And I know that Eric Gordon was only with the Clippers for like the back half of last season, but what can you share with us about who he is as a teammate, locker room guy, what we can kind of expect personality-wise?
Yeah, so Eric Gordon is a great guy to have in the locker room, and head coach Sharon Lou really touched on it a number of times last year. Just his calm demeanor is something that um, it really just, again, calms the entire locker room down. You never feel razzled with him. High pressure situations. That game 1 and game 2 last year against the Suns were some pretty high pressure situations, and Eric was calm, cool, collected the entire time, and that's the type of guy you want on your team, and playing those big minutes where crowd gets loud, clock starts winding down. That's who you want on your team. I think, again, Eric's just glad to be in a contender. I know he was glad when he got here. He was like, finally. So I think playing for contender kind of rejuvenated him last year. It brought back a little bit more in the game, and I think we'll continue to see that this year with the Suns. Um, I think as a locker room guy, he really is just the perfect guy. He's very low maintenance, doesn't really need the ball at this point in his career very often, and he's just a very calm guy to have in your locker room. So he's a veteran presence as well, been in the league long enough to know what his role is, how to approach different guys and help them out in different situations, whether it's shots not going down, frustrations with other things. So he's really just like the perfect guy. I think this is like a match made in heaven with Phoenix and Eric Gordon, because so many things that both needed. Just they complement each other so well. So I like it a lot.
It's also been a long time coming.
This is true.
I don't know if you remember that, Tomer, but back in 2012, he signed a 4-year, like $58 million deal with the Suns as a restricted free agent. And there was this whole like PR slogan about how his heart was in Phoenix, and they were trying to get the Pelicans not to match, and they matched like 3 days later. So he never wound up
I
coming
do remember
here.
that.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Oh, wow. Yeah.
There's been a love affair for a long time with Eric Gordon and the Phoenix Suns. That's
Better
for
late
sure.
than never, I guess.
Yeah.
Exactly. We do have a question in our chat. Does he have any nicknames that you know of?
I mean, I know that he goes by EJ, because he's Eric Jr., Eric Gordon Jr. So he goes
Okay.
by EJ. He doesn't like EG. I mean, I don't think he doesn't like EG. He just goes by EJ.
Mhm.
I can't recall. I don't think he was here for long enough to get a
Yeah.
nickname.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I mean, I guess with Gordon you could do a few things.
Yeah. So
Like probably an Eric Gordon or something, but I don't think he ever got that nickname though.
Yeah, his Eric Gordon, I think, was from his younger days, especially when he was pretty ruthless in the air. But I do like Splash Gordon. That's on his basketball reference page. I might have to use that.
Okay.
Someone
Okay.
also, someone, Jay in the chat said Hobbit, and it does show up here, the Hobbit. I don't know about that one. I don't know.
You try that in the first post-game press conference. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah,
I don't know
about
if I
that
like
one.
that.
No,
Why Hobbit? I'm curious about that one. How did that start?
I have no idea. I might need to ask him about
I
that.
will say though, basketball reference, right?
Yeah.
They do often at times have questionable nicknames listed for players where I'm like, are you sure?
I think they do that just to see if a media member will actually use it and have the guy
Maybe.
be
Just get
like,
him in trouble.
what the hell are you talking about?
Basketball reference says E-money.
Yeah, E-money, EJ, EG, Splash Gordon, 3G.
Okay.
There's some options.
I had one.
Only one I know about is EJ.
Yeah.
I have one non Eric Gordon question, if you don't mind. Obviously, Steve Ballmer came into the league very much like Matt Ishbia, wanting to make big moves, wanting to put together this championship roster. It hasn't worked in LA due to, in particular, injuries. But do you think that's been the biggest impediment, or do you think there's something to be said for these new owners coming in, wanting to spend big money, but not necessarily spending it right? Because that's been one of the things that people have been a little worried about with Matt Ishbia.
I think, well, for one, I think people forget how hard it is to win. And at the end of the day, there's one winner and 29 losers. I think people forget that at times. Everyone wants to contend, everyone wants to compete, and it's not realistic to have everyone be a top tier championship contender year in and year out. I do like what Matt Ishbia has done a lot. A lot of it's been bold, but like some of these guys are superstar players that are really hard to come by, and this is the final offseason, I believe, according to the CBA, that you could actually go and get these guys, a Bradley Beal or a Kevin Durant. So like these are generational players. You might as well go get them and try to win now. So I love that. I mean, as far as the Clippers go, I think they've done a lot right. They just haven't had the luck and the fortune to stay healthy at the right time. And when they did, they had a coach who's a little stubborn in their ways, I'd say, in the bubble, and wouldn't play Ivica Zubac as much, played Montrezl Harrell a little too much against Jokic. Other than that, they just haven't been healthy. I mean, I know Ty Lue kind of said it and everyone laughed at it, but since Tyronn Lue took over as head coach, they have not lost a series when they've been fully healthy, but they've also just not been fully healthy outside of like that one Mavs series.
Mhm.
So I think it's just luck and fortune has not been on their side, and I think that probably just plays a significant portion of a lot of teams' success, and they just haven't had it right now. So I do like what the Clippers have done over the years. It's tough to. I know that the end result hasn't really justified it, but like they've done everything the right way, and I like what Matt Ishbia has done as well. I think the health concerns are always going to be there, but you have to go all in and just try to win, especially when superstar talent like this is available. It's ballsy to go out there and get Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal within what a 4 or 5 month span,
Yeah.
but you got to do it. You got to do it.
Mhm.
I got a little bit of a soft spot for the Clippers in my heart. I'm not going to lie. And also just from playoffs over the last handful of years, I will say the Clippers fan base has been the coolest fan base of an opponent for sure.
Yeah.
So I do wish you guys well, just not when you're playing the Suns.
But maybe this past postseason they got a little softer. I know in 2021, it was a little more testy.
Yeah.
When the Suns beat the Clippers, and Chris Paul won a conference championship on the Clippers home court. That was I remember we were in the post game talking through the microphone in the arena, and it was different. It was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a little
That's
like
fair.
history there
Yeah.
and whatnot, so I get that. But well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time and your insight. I hope you have a great weekend.
No problem. Thank you. You guys stay cool out there. It's I know it's been rough, so you guys stay cool out there. Appreciate you guys for having me.
We'll do
You
our
too,
best.
Tomer. Thanks for hopping on.
And everyone listening, make sure you give him a follow on Twitter. He is at Tomer Azarly. That's Azarly. If we want to stay cool in Phoenix, the best place to do that is, of course, the Four Peaks Pub down in Tempe. Because not only do they have refreshing beer, they got great food and they got air conditioning. So the 3 things you need for a great time when you're in Phoenix in the summertime, you can find at the Four Peaks Pub in Tempe. Check them out on social at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. Must be 21 years or older to drink Four Peaks, and we ask that you drink responsibly. I thought it was interesting. You and Saul have always been talking about those tea shots at Four Peaks, and Jacob came in today and was like, I finally tried one, and it was delicious. So
I don't lie to people.
yeah, your recommendations are solid.
I mean, I know you did call me a liar earlier in the week, but when it comes to Four Peaks and beers, I do not lie to the people. The tea shot is spectacular.
I'm going to let
say
that
what
one
you
go.
want to say.
I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to you know what? I'm just going to have some OGs, and I'm just going to zen out and find a happy balance. I'm going to let it go. It's Friday. We need to be nicer to each other.
Sure.
If anybody has been a little bit sassy this week, it's definitely me.
See.
Why are we being nice to each other on a Friday? We should be nice to each other on a Monday and progressively get worse.
Well, I mean, I started Monday pretty hot.
Yeah,
so
you did.
if I had gotten progressively worse from Monday, we would probably be in World War III now.
Don't give her ideas.
Yeah, I feel like everybody hates me based on what
Could be
Lindsay was throwing at me this week.
It could be a little bit of a struggle. Although, yesterday I did take my fair share of the lumps. I had an off day yesterday.
What happened yesterday? I don't even remember.
Wow.
I don't know. I just felt like I was definitely taking L's left and right on the show. So,
All right.
it all balanced out. It's a happy balance, just like what OG's offers. OG's is all about flavoring life, and they have such a wide range of flavors and functions. So no matter what it is that you need or are looking for, OG's has a gummy for it. So check out OG's online at ogsbrands.com. You can find them on Instagram at ogsbrands, and you can also find their products at your local dispensary, but you must be 21 years or older to purchase. So we heard from James Jones yesterday. The clips that we played were about DeAndre, but James Jones also did share some thoughts on Payne and the movement around him.
Well, it was a combination of things, but that was a part of a series of transactions that we made that we thought would give us roster balance and flexibility. And Cam was tremendous for us for the last 3 years, but we have changed the identity of our team. And when you look at the types of players that we have on the floor, they have size, defensive versatility, length. And so when we thought about that position, when you talk about Devin, Kevin, and Brad having the ball in their hands and being high usage, we need a different type of guard. And I think we have that. But at the same time, we're open to continue to try to figure out how to add those same traits, defensive versatility.
I mean, I know people are going to say that that's sort of a nothing answer, but I felt like he gave more details than I was expecting about why they went a certain direction away from Cam. He talked about liking their guards, but he also talked about the defensive makeup of the team, being comfortable with the amount of playmaking that they have. And he didn't say the inconsistency part of it, but that's, we can read into his comments however we will. So I thought that was more informative than the type of answer we usually get when a question like that comes up.
Yeah, to me, that felt like a kind way of saying he wasn't going to get a lot of playing time.
Mm-hmm.
There really wasn't a place on this roster for him. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, this is tax saving. They did it because Ishbia isn't really willing to spend anything it takes. He wanted to save money. I don't buy that. That's not the MO of this offseason at all. I think this purely was, you are not going to get an opportunity here. You're going into the final year of your contract. We're going to move you to try to get anything and to give you an opportunity to actually play. Because to be fair, I think Cam did a lot of good things for this organization. I think James probably appreciated that. And really, if he didn't get a play this year, he's not getting any money next summer, or any big money, or any decent money. So I think this gives him an opportunity in San Antonio to get decent minutes, maybe earn himself another 2 or 3 year contract that could help him in the long run.
Yeah, I mean that is fair from like a business perspective to give him a chance to boost his value, because clearly his trade value was not very high.
At the moment,
All they got back from him was a second round pick that's probably not going to convey
5
because of how it's
5 spots,
because of
right?
how it's protected. Yeah, so I am kind of shocked that they were willing to dump him for that. Like if they hadn't been able to work out that magic deal, this would have been a real head scratcher because we focused on, okay, we got 3 second round picks back at least. Just this campaign deal with San Antonio was him and a second rounder for a second rounder that they're probably never going to get. So it was kind of weird that they were willing to go that far.
But I think too is they needed another spot to sign Bol.
They did, but again, that is a little strange to me, just because if the playoffs were starting, I would put a lot more money on campaign being a contributor in some way than Bol. But maybe they're high on the flashes he showed before he got COVID with the Magic last year, because he did look like an actual useful rotation player.
Am I wrong in thinking that maybe they value a trade exemption though too? That
they could.
It does open up flexibility for down the road.
Yeah, well, I mean, and with how tight they are against the cap, how with the guys that they signed primarily all being veteran minimums outside of the big four, if you even want to make a move, you kind of need some flexibility like that. So at least a trade exception gives you that potential flexibility. I don't know. I think that may be part of it, as well as that future opportunity cost there.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it could be the case that they realized, damn, campaign doesn't have like any trade value. If we're going to add a meaningful player at midseason, if something comes up, we'd rather use the $6.5 million trade exception and a couple of second rounders than campaign's contract and a couple of second. I don't know, but it's possible. I am still just surprised that his trade value was that low, I guess.
Yeah. I am though, and this is me like speculating and reading into some of his tweets, because now that we know exactly what unfolded, it does feel like that tweet he sent out, like something along the lines of, all right, let's get to it, or something like that. Seems like maybe in hindsight now they had a conversation behind the scenes about something like this might actually come into fruition. And I will say, I do appreciate that he didn't find out from Twitter, from Woj and Shams, that he had been moved. I do appreciate that they at least seemingly anyway gave him a heads up. I'm hoping that that's what it is anyway.
Right. Hopefully that's what happened, because the reports had already been circulating about the whole TJ McConnell stuff.
Right.
So it could be reacting to that, but it could be the case where they were just transparent, like, look, we're going to try to trade you somewhere else.
Or maybe it was the reports that started it and then they had the conversation. I don't know.
Also
I'm just trying to hope that they had the conversation before he found out on Twitter, because I hate that so much.
I'm guessing they didn't have it before Summer League, because he was out there
definitely not
sitting
before
there.
Summer League.
But look, his attitude for as up and down as things had been, and in any issues on the court, play wise, he always had a great attitude. Always was supporting his teammates, whether he was out injured or wasn't playing well. He was always one of the first guys to cheer for his teammates. So,
and the city in general.
Yeah.
He got behind everybody in this city and fully embraced being a Phoenician, being a part of the sports culture here in town. Like, he's still tweeting about the D-backs. You know what I mean? Like, he loved this place, and we loved him for that too, and we loved him back. So it will be sad.
Yeah, and I think that goes to, you could tell there was respect in what James was talking about in that interview. And I think, who he was goes a long way to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys. Since it's Friday, we're going to bring back Friday fun.
Okay.
I feel like it's been a
You mean
minute
our
since we've
hats
had a
aren't
little
doing
bit
that?
of Friday fun vibes going on over here. We're going to play a little hot or not.
Okay.
Emma
Yes,
is back
hot.
behind the Mac, and she has some topics for us.
Okay.
And chat, feel free to weigh in. Let us know if you think they're hot or not, too.
All right. First one, hot or not, flip-flops.
On men,
So-
not. On women, hot.
So this is not slides. This is flip flops, correct?
Flip-
Correct, flip-flops.
Hot when you're not at work.
I don't like the thing in between my toes, to be honest with you. So I'm going to say not.
I can't stand slides.
Why?
Oh, I love
just
slides.
can't.
My Nike slides, I wear them
I-
all the time when I'm not wearing shoes.
I've never found a real comfortable pair of slides that I like.
Really?
But I've
Huh.
found flip flops that I
Okay.
can go with.
Well, we got birthday ideas for you now.
Oh.
Perfect.
No, we're not gonna contribute to Espo having his toes out.
Why do I
I'm
take
sorry.
shrapnel because of freaking Bookman?
Because-
I wouldn't
no,
buy
no, no,
Gerald's
no.
sandals either.
I'm
I don't
not
want to see
gonna wa-
Gerald's toes either.
Look, Leah and you have shamed me enough where I will never wear open-toed shoes in this building. Did it once, that's enough. I'll be wearing sneakers, thank you very much.
Espo, we shamed you in the old building, and you still wore them in the new building.
Not while I was on show. I had to come in on a day I wasn't supposed to come in, and I was wearing them once.
Can
Give a man a break.
Even with
Why?
I
slides,
will-
I still want guys to wear socks with their
Yeah.
slides.
No, that
What
no,
do you-
because
wha-
Cover up your toes.
we
Nobody
get-
wants to see them.
no, because then we get in trouble for wearing socks with your sandals or socks with your slides.
man. Look
Yeah.
at
I don't
have
that.
a problem
Socks
with
with
that.
I think
I
I,
don't either,
really like
but-
the look of
I
Birkenstocks
actually,
with socks.
like socks and sandals.
I like the look too, and I like the feel because especially during the winter when it's cold, I still want to wear my comfortable ass slides, but I don't want my feet to be cold. But then I get told you're not an adult. You're wearing socks
By
with your
who?
sandals.
Who?
By
Amy?
people. No, not
Wait,
Amy.
what do you? Hold on. I will not stand. I will not stand for this male toe hatred on this program.
Oh my
What's
god.
what is with that? Right? What? Why? Why is there such
wanna
hatred
know
against
why?
the male toe?
You
They're
want to know
gross.
'Cause
why?
they're gross looking.
They're
Toes
gross.
in general are gross. I don't even
No.
see anybody's
No.
toes.
That's not entirely
Yeah,
true
toes are gross.
whatsoever.
Nope.
They are.
If you're a man and you're gonna have your toes out, at the very least, you better be getting pedicures on the regular. Those feet better be looking nice.
Your
And if they are
toes-
not, cover them up.
Your toes should not be out if you are not by the water. Period.
I mean, I would.
For men?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to now wear socks in my own house.
Yes.
I
I
mean,
do-
not during this heat wave though.
No.
I
I do
will
not
push
accept
back on
this
that.
crap.
If I'm out and I'm not here with my coworkers and I'm wearing my slides, I'm not going to put socks on because it's 116 degrees out.
You know, I'm not going
It's
to
too
give
much.
into that. You know, I'll wear sandals in this office if I damn well please. Thank you very
You're
much.
such a liar. You would
Thank
not.
you very much.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, maybe I will on this program too.
Okay.
You all
okay.
can suffer, all right?
Libertarian Sasquatch sent us a super chat and said, no man should wear flip-flops or any open-toed shoes in public.
I used to like libertarian Sasquatch, but not anymore.
I live in a place that's 110 on the regular. I'm going to wear shoes that are not that hot when I
Jay-
please.
Jason Schaff says, looks like Espo and Lindsay are going toe-to-toe on this.
Hey-oh. Hey-oh.
Let me
Look at
assure
you go,
you, my toes
Jason.
will be nowhere near Lindsay's toes. There's hatred now, all
Look
right?
at you go, Jason. That's
All right.
funny. All right, what's next, Emma?
Hot or not, getting a tech for flopping.
Ooh.
So hot. So damn hot.
Has the potential to be hot, but very well could be not, depending on how it actually plays out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just going to go hot as a baseline principle.
Because
I
we
like
would
the
like
idea.
it to be hot.
I like the idea of it. The
Yeah.
execution, I still have questions about.
Are you guys concerned about this? Because didn't we get one in like the first day of Summer League?
Yeah. Look, this will be like any rule at the beginning of the season. They'll overuse it to make a point, and then as things go on, they'll underuse it, and everybody will complain that, oh, that should have been a flopping technical, and it wasn't. Look, this is so hot for 29 teams. If the Suns get called for them, it's not. Let's be honest. But I can't wait till Luka gets a freaking flopping foul in a big game, and we all can feel good about it.
Yeah, but it's going to hurt if it ever happens to us so
Yeah.
much. It's going to be really bad.
Yeah. Just don't be the first ones.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Emma, what else you got for us?
All right, next one. Hot or not, gated communities.
Not.
Yeah, I'm gonna go not.
Not. I mean, if you're not comfortable living in the place that you're in, don't live there.
Also, it just feels so wrong.
It feels very
Like you're gonna
exclusionary.
like I'm gonna put a gate, and then not even like from that side of things, just from a logistic side of things. You know how many times I've had people like I have to drop off things or friends live in gated communities, and you just can't get in
Right.
or out because the gate just
And
doesn't work.
And that's the part
And I'm
that
like, now
pisses
I'm
me
stuck
off.
here.
Is people that live in gated communities are so stingy with giving out their gate code.
Yes.
It's like, what the?
It's easy.
If you're gonna live
It's
behind
like,
a
I'm
moat,
literally not coming to your house ever.
give us the password.
Come
right?
on. There's always somebody that it's 0000 in any community, or the wise ass that thinks 6969 is hilarious, and you can get in any community.
And then you always inevitably, every single person I know who's lived in a gated community has at one point in time posted on social media somebody who ran into the gate and then the gate's broken for like 17 weeks because, again, gated community takes forever to get things fixed because there's so much red tape. And so the gate is irrelevant at that point too. And it's just like, this seems like so much work for no reason.
How about not a community, but a home, like a mansion? Gate, hot or not?
Say that one more time.
A mansion. If you own a mansion, a compound, whatever you want to call it. Gate, hot or not at that point?
If you got valuable stuff, I get it if it's just one house.
Doesn't everybody have
if it's a
valuable
whole-
stuff?
No,
Literally
but like
in Scottsdale, there's
there's
gated
levels to this.
communities, and then once you go into the gated communities, there's gates in front of
Okay,
driveways.
that's excessive.
gateception.
Yeah.
No,
Just
thank
gate
you.
on gate on
Wouldn't
gate.
at that point in time, though, it just be considered a fence? Like, I know it's technically a gate, but wouldn't it be just considered a fence? If it's
I
just
mean,
your
those-
house?
I don't know.
I don't know. They're just no, because like mansions, they'll have like an actual gate.
Yeah,
that, like, has
I
to-
know. But, like, if it's just for one house, wouldn't it just be a fence?
I guess.
Since it's not a community thing. Because you have a gated community and you still have fences around houses within the gated community.
Yeah, but not to where, like, there's usually a pathway you can get in.
I'm sorry. Hello in the chat said, as an angel, I live behind a gate, and now I'm just laughing at the concept of heaven as a gated community.
Oh, no.
I like Half-Life Heroes. For a mansion, you get a gate pass. Yeah.
No,
I
my
mean, it sounds right,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, it
There's all
does.
sorts of requirements to gated communities to get in. There's also, I mean, it makes sense.
That's funny. I broke Lindsay
So-
with that one.
So if I get Jesus, can I get in gated
Emma?
communities too?
We're
or-
not going to go down that road.
Okay, Jose said, where's the moat? Okay, moat, hot or not? I think a moat is
Oh,
definitely
A
hot.
moat is definitely hot.
A moat
Yeah.
is muy caliente.
Yeah.
Like, that's just badass.
You want to
Like,
put a moat around a community? I support it.
Right.
Okay? You want to put a moat around your house, your mansion, whatever? Let's do it.
Right.
Give me some crocodiles in that bitch, too. Like, let's go.
oh my gosh.
sharks. I want to moat with sharks. You get
Yeah.
that, you get all the passes you want.
If you're going to keep us out, at least make it something that we're like,
It's
okay.
like fun, right?
respect
yeah,
that.
make it fun. All right, Emma, what's next?
Hot or not, Instagram pages for pets.
Not Instagram pages for anybody aren't hot at this point. Like, I'm done with Instagram.
You're going to get me in trouble because Amy has an
I
Instagram
know.
page
Oh,
for
no.
Loki.
That's why I
Not
said
super
it.
like cute. Like,
better
okay,
He is.
fine, but like
You better say
in
So
general,
hot.
I'm over Instagram.
So hot. Yeah, it's definitely hot. That's my answer.
I think it's hot if you have a unique pet.
Yeah.
If it's just like a normal everyday pet, then I'm gonna go not.
Yeah. It needs to be like a Pomeranian or like a Shiba Inu or something.
No, like
you're
even
gonna do
more
it for
than
your
that.
dog.
Like,
Like-
you need to have one of those cats that's like 3 feet tall and like only can eat raw meat because they're so big.
Like a bobcat.
Yeah, you haven't seen those. You haven't seen those like those
No.
crazy cool cats. Emma knows what I'm talking about. Or that one that's called like Achu Man or whatever that has like a full on like mustache type of thing going on.
Mhm.
Like if you've got a cool animal that is like different, unique, or does cool things, like a cat that will go out on like the lake with you or something. Yes.
Lindsay's like, if you got a severed hand like Wednesday as a pet, it definitely deserves an Instagram page.
I mean, this is true. Thing does deserve its own.
I mean, I guess
Instagram
Thing
page.
wasn't really her pet. That's not a fair assessment there.
What's next, Emma?
Hot or not, Summer League Championship rings.
Oh boy.
Not. This is the dumbest shit ever. When I was part of a team, you know what you got for winning the Summer League Championship?
Huh.
A T-shirt and the chance to leave Las Vegas after 2 weeks. That's what you got.
I'm going to say hot. That is so hot. You know why it's hot? We give out championship rings for kids that win a state championship in high school. We give out rings for guys that win stuff in college. Summer League is a higher level of basketball than those other two. Just because we don't pay attention to it and don't give a shit about it, that is closer to the NBA than either of those other two things that I just listed. Let them have their Summer League ring. For some of them, it might be the peak of what they achieve in basketball.
Also,
why not?
you can literally buy a class ring for just going to high
Right.
school, which is
That's
basically
not
a
hot.
requirement.
That's
Like,
lame.
what?
Hold on.
I'm gonna go hot. I'm with you,
Hold
Gerald.
on.
Let's do it.
These guys
Do
play
it.
basketball for a week and a half and you give them a ring?
It's like
They're
2
not even
weeks.
teams. They're
It's
not
like-
playing real
Okay,
offenses.
first of all, it's 2 weeks. Second of
You
all,
couldn't get on
there's
a
week.
team?
There's a week
Gerald
of practicing.
couldn't get on a team.
Nope.
I couldn't get on a team.
Nope.
Saul couldn't get on a team. They
Nope.
still have to have some level
I'm
of
not
talent.
claiming they're not talented. I'm just saying the amount of work that goes into it to get a ring seems a little insulting to the concept of a championship ring.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
I'm going
I
hot.
love
Not
it.
hot. Not hot.
Plus,
not
going
hot.
2 weeks in Vegas is more like a full season. Like that's
2 weeks in Vegas is literally like the hardest thing to survive.
We were there in Vegas for like 4
I didn't
days,
survive.
and we came back in shambles. She wasn't here for half a week. You got food poisoning immediately upon arriving.
You know what?
I've been running on fumes since, and we didn't even play any games.
Most people that go to Vegas that short of a time
Uh-huh.
and get a ring wind up annulling it. All right? I'm sorry, but,
But
no.
not always. And it
No.
was a sure great time, I bet.
But these rings last forever.
I
Mhm.
can't wait to
That's
buy
right.
one of those rings on eBay for $500 soon.
Wow.
See? And then if somebody needs $500, they can sell the ring on
See,
eBay.
now
you're
and
just
get
throwing money
$500.
away.
I'm gonna wear that bad boy around a chain and just make Gerald jealous.
There you
Espo,
go.
I'm talking for me and your wife. You
Mhm.
don't need more shit.
Hey Emma, zip it. All right. What else? What's next?
All right, last one. We've talked about this one a little bit today. Hot or not, Barbenheimer.
So hot.
I'm gonna
So
go
unbelievably hot.
So hot.
I fully support it 100%.
Yes.
I will say that if you are a procrastinator like I am, who's going to have to wait for like the next 2 weeks to be able to enjoy the Barbenheimer experience, because I'm very particular about the seats in the theater,
Uh-huh.
and all the good seats have already sold out.
What? So 2 weeks you have to wait?
Well, I mean, we're also trying to go as like a group. So like finding good
Oh,
seats in a
okay.
theater
That
right
makes
now for like 6 or more people
Yeah,
is pretty tough
that's fair.
for this
that's
movie.
fair.
Like they've all sold out. People were smarter than I was and like bought tickets like a month ago.
Yeah.
I'm very upset that both of my built-in babysitters for my daughter decided to go on vacation at the same time, and I will likely not get to see.
Is that
either
why?
of them this
Yeah.
Is that why you were asking if I could watch?
Yep. I
Joshua was
asked
like
everybody
literally
here.
anybody.
I-
Anybody.
My daughter loves Emma. I may just drop her off at Emma's house and just be
Just
like,
show
"Have fun."
Like ding dong ditch, but
Yeah.
then Rose just on the porch.
Bro, I hate to
Oh,
let
no.
you know, but
Yeah.
I can barely even take care of myself.
But we're aware. I figured
Damn.
my daughter would help take care of you while she was
If
over there.
anything,
Honestly-
Ro would make sure Emma was fed.
Yeah.
Well,
Whenever I
I'm
watch,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry you won't be able to go this weekend. I'm very excited for because both of the movies are getting like great reviews
Yes.
too,
Yeah.
which is exciting. And we've never had like I think The Ringer went through like the best movie release dates in history.
Mhm.
We've never had like 2 certified movies of the summer releasing on the same day.
and for different reasons. Such
Yeah,
polar opposites
Yeah.
fantastic.
in it. I mean, they're saying this is Nolan's masterpiece too.
Right.
Which, like, that's a man who's done a lot of great movies. So I'm very interested in that. There
Mhm.
is one more hot or not. Do you
Okay.
want it?
What's that?
I believe it was Hello in the chat said Riz Pizito, hot or not. Be careful how you answer this. All right.
Are we talking about the name?
The name,
Not hot.
not me.
You already know that I hate it. I'm sorry.
So fucking ice
Lindsay
cold.
hates me.
So fucking
Lindsay
cold.
hates me so much. I know.
No, I just
Yeah.
hate. Listen, I don't really like Riz as a slang term to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was just something off-putting about it from the jump.
Yeah.
So
Because it involved me. I understand.
no. I said from the
I
beginning.
understand, Lindsay.
Like even when the whole like Shams Cade
yeah.
thing went down and everyone was like Shams got Riz, I'm like, this just feels cringe.
I just don't like
I don't
that.
like it.
I don't like
I
that
don't
word.
support it.
Fucking cold.
All right,
It's just
Sorry,
disgusting.
So it's not anything personal
Emma's
against
hating.
you.
Yeah.
Emma's hating on me. That's all me hate back
You
there.
know
take
what,
it back.
Espo? At the end of the day, all that matters is, do you think it's hot or not?
Oh, I think I'm so hot. I mean,
Then there you go.
Who dresses like this and doesn't think they're
That's
hot? I mean,
literally
what I
all
mean.
that matters. Didn't we talk about this yesterday? Like, focus on what the people who are saying positive things to you
Mhm.
are.
But
That's
that's
fair.
just the voices in my head.
The Discord loves it.
Oh, that's true.
The Discord
true.
loves it.
Wow, Classy Nasty says Lindsay has no Riz.
I don't need Riz, so it's okay.
We are
Riz-
not.
I-
Hello says Riz or Glizpazito. Glizpazito ain't ever happening.
I'm sorry. That's
That is just wrong. I think that is the worst term ever.
oh my god.
Ever that for hot dogs.
If I ever catch you eating a hot dog, I'm snapping a pic and that's the caption.
No.
Glizpazito.
Oh, no.
Holy crap.
Hot
Not
or
good.
not, really cool merchandise products for your sports team.
I mean, hot.
Hot?
Duh,
What?
of course. That was
Like,
an easy one that I
duh.
set you guys up
Oh,
for.
there we go.
You know we love our things from FOCO. They are a leading manufacturer of sports and entertainment merchandise. They've got apparel, they've got accessories, they've got toys, collectibles, novelty items, and so much more. Some of the cool tchotchkes that you see here at PHNX
Tchotchkes is
Studios
such a
are
word.
from our friends at FOCO. They always have our back for Arizona sports, and they've got yours too. You can get the best gear around by visiting foco.com and using that code PHNX for all non-presale items. You use that code PHNX and you're going to get 10% off. Also, did you guys know that on BetMGM they have these cool like activations? Like one of the ones that is happening now through September 7th is the Swing for the Fences activation, and it's you just pick a strike zone, and then if you win, you get a prize, and the prize is listed there, and it tells you exactly what it is. And you can play it one time per day, every single day
Mhm.
until the 7th of September.
I know. I have. It's fun.
And no, then they got that's just one of the many things that the BetMGM Sportsbook app offers. If you guys haven't signed up yet, what are you doing? Make sure you sign up with that bonus code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live, but for our Arizona audience, you place your first bet offer and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if it loses with BetMGM. Again, make sure you use that bonus code PHNX. Check out the show notes for full details, and now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-522-4700 Nevada. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., Kansas, Nevada, New York, or Ontario.
Did you know that they have odds on the BetMGM Sportsbook app about whether I'll wear sandals next week or not?
And what are they?
Oh, take the bet. I'll be wearing sandals next week.
Oh boy, Saul's gonna give you so much
Oh.
grief.
Yeah, Saul and his pretty feet. You know, like
I mean, they're not that pretty, so don't feel
I
bad.
haven't looked at Saul's feet extensively.
He
so-
literally sent us a text message.
Yeah, I didn't look at it. I've avoided it.
He sent us a text message in the group chat, you guys. And I don't know if everybody's phone has been doing this lately on Twitter. I feel like it's a Twitter thing. But when you send me a tweet, it doesn't show the preview. It's just a gray screen.
Oh, really?
And I have to click
Yeah.
on the actual tweet and open it in
Oh,
Twitter in order to
no.
know what it is that so I'm thinking, oh, Saul sent us something that's going on with the Suns that we could use for the show. No, it's his freaking feet.
So he rickrolled you with his feet.
Like-
That sucks.
Never gonna let you.
It was I was so mad. And it was on like a Friday too. Like a Friday evening, and I'm just
Ah,
living my best life, like
that's
hanging out for
brutal.
the weekend. And here's Saul's feet on my phone.
I'd say we need to talk to HR, but the text came from HR.
The text is coming from inside the house.
Oh no!
Should I
All
just
right,
take them
guys.
off now?
No, Espo.
Put your shoe on. I'm worried about you putting that back in your mouth. I had PTSD from earlier in the week.
No, my tongue is still reeling from that.
Bro, it's been a wild week.
Yeah,
You guys realize
There's
that?
a lot that happened
This
this
week
week.
has been interesting, to say the least. Emma goes,
For-
this has been horrible.
been
For
a
some
week.
people, it's been unbearable.
There we go.
Oh boy. And with that,
Come on, we gotta
great
go.
way to
Slam ball
say
starts
goodbye.
soon.
Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you very much. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday, 3 p.m. right here on our YouTube channel. So come hang out with us. Until then, we hope you have fun this weekend. Fingers crossed we get some wind, some rain, some clouds, literally anything that will give us a little bit of relief from this heat. But make sure you stay inside and stay hydrated. And make sure you follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. You can also follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Borgay. And you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
Head over to our lesser channel, ESPN, right now for some slam ball. Oh,
Hey yo, my lifestyle is retro. Tell the Phoenix Metro. Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX though, Lindsay, Gerald, Espo. Saw past the ball, we here to turn up the tempo. Got to understand me, I'll always rectify.